Make yourself comfortable. Put yourself in a place where you can be alert and at ease. That's kind of a big part of it. So you could be lying down, you can be sitting up, but you want your attention to be able to stay engaged as we move through practice. And you want your body to be at ease. So not creating any additional tension, letting your hands rest beside you or in your lap or in some place where they're going to be nice and comfortable. Is kind of where we're headed on the journey today. I also like to I also like to say one of the ways that you can kind of note if you've got a position where you feel kind of alert and at ease is, can you take a good breath in and notice how that feels to breathe, and if there's any restrictions there, I'd ask you to make adjustments because our breath is an important part of our practice. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and close the eyes. Start to bring the attention inwards. In this moment of arrival, we can start to notice things on a much more subtler level than we normally would. A lot of our attention is very focused throughout the day on whatever the most pressing thing is in front of us. And so today's practice is going to help us to kind of widen that attention, to broaden it a little bit, and to open it up. And so as you're beginning to arrive into practice, begin to notice the texture of the moment, the sounds that are around you, the weight of your body, the rhythm of your breathing. These independent elements are naturally arising and happening in the moment on their own without any effort from you. You're taking time in practice today to witness as I point your attention towards various portions of the practice. You're simply noticing what is there and remaining curious, patient, and compassionate to the experience as it arises. Part of what we're doing today is simply exploring what's already here instead of trying to have a goal or setting an outcome. We're taking the moment as it unfolds. Today's practice is going to have us paying attention to the space that exists within the practice. One of the ways we're going to kind of draw our attention to that space is through the use of a question. It's a question that's designed to help you feel into the moment, not necessarily to intellectually answer, but to just kind of be used as a pointer. And that question is, can I imagine? And then following that question will be the direction of where your attention will go. So we'll start by looking at the body. So, can you imagine the space that surrounds your body right now? Sensing the space around your body. You might feel that as the volume of air moving across your shoulders, your head, or your hands. You might notice where you are in relationship to the space in the room. There's the physical, tangible pieces of yourself that you can feel contrasted with the openness and the spaciousness of the room you're in. This includes the space between sounds, both of my voice and the ambient sounds in the room around you. And hear with the attention why there is a variety of elements moving back and forth, changing, coming and going. Observing how our mind, our body, our breath reacts to what we're witnessing in this moment. As you're feeling the space around and in your body, notice the breath as it moves through that space. The tempo at which it's moving, the way it expands and contracts with each inhale and each exhale. Seeing if I can imagine the space my breath moves through. The, the space in your nostrils as air enters, the space in your throat as it moves down and into your chest, the space as it expands out into the chest and the belly. And it's almost as if you can feel the breath moving from the inside out as you kind of look to connect to the spaciousness of it. Feeling how the breath fills up the body in all of those spaces with each inhale and each exhale. Can you notice the space between each inhale and exhale, the subtle pause that happens as you take a breath in and then as you exhale? On each side of those breaths, there's a bit of space there. Often it can go unnoticed in the busyness of the day. But can you start to recognize it in this moment? Learning to simply be here with the breath without a need to arrive, a need to make it to some destination. You can rest here in this spaciousness exploring the sensations in the body, feeling the breath come and go, sensing the openness of your energy. Here in this space of openness, sensing the body, feeling the breath, can you imagine the space between your thoughts here? Noticing the moments where there's a gap between one thought before it rolls into the next. Or maybe it's a small pause after a thought has passed through. Noticing if there's a particular thought you might be attached to, or might be replaying itself. And if it's okay to allow a bit of space and allow that thought to be instead of feeling the desire, the urge to react. And here in the space of openness, sitting with the thoughts and the breath and the body, we have almost like a wide angle lens. So instead of noticing any one sensation that you might feel in your body, we notice the whole body as sensation, noticing the space between the crown of our head and all the way to our toes, feeling what's present in our body in this moment, allowing your attention to move into the space of the body, imagining moving inside with the breath and feeling where the breath comes alive from the inside out, or moving your attention into a sensation you might be feeling in the body. If there's any type of tension being held today, notice the space around it. Notice it in context to the entire space of your body and the space of the room that you are in. As we allow our attention to work its way through the space, it reminds us that there's room for all experiences to occur. There's also room for all of them to change and for that process to start over again and again. Seeing the space between the eyes, sensing and feeling that space, noticing the space between the eyes and the inner ear, sensing and feeling what's present. Noticing the space between the heart and the crown of the head. Recognizing the space from the crown of the head all the way down to the belly button, to the solar plexus area. Each sensation changing as you move the attention across the body. From the belly button, you notice the space from there to the toes, and then letting the attention drop back and notice the space from the toes to the crown of the head. As you've been resting here in this space, Notice the emotional tone that's begun to arise here in this moment. In this space, a variety of emotions can begin to surface: joy, restlessness, anxiety, sadness. But in addition to whatever is there for you today, notice the space around it, within it, where it is in relationship to your body and to your breath. Letting your attention soften into it and watch in some ways how the energy dissipates and builds again and comes like waves, similar to the way your thought moves or the way the breath moves. In this way, we allow it to be what it is and let it be held by the spaciousness that resides within you. Allowing the attention to focus a little more closely on just the breath, allowing ourselves to anchor now from the vastness of the practice to one point, the breath coming in and the breath going out. Letting that breath find its balance, letting the inhales and the exhales be coherent. should the mind get distracted or pulled away by any of the other components of your experience. Know that that is okay. When we're focusing our attention, the chances increase that we will be distracted, but we gently meet that distraction with a bit of understanding that it's okay, that I can bring my focus back to my breath. Taking this time and practice to offer a bit of gratitude and patience and understanding to whatever your experience was today. This is your chance to remind yourself that you honored the commitment and showed up. And in the showing up, you created the space to learn and understand, to spend time with the practices that often go overlooked. The gratitude for the breath, for the body that you have in this moment, for the fact that this moment is okay, not perfect, maybe not what you want, but it is okay. And then by showing up, we create the conditions for experience to unfold. And begin to move the hands, open and close hands. Take your time to softly open the eyes. Allow yourself to ease out of the practice, back into the moment.